Hey brewers, welcome back for another fucked up Fridays, where I get fucked up and try to make beer. But today, we're not making beer, we're just gonna talk about the most important part of brewing. Like without this, you're gonna be fermenting wild and everything's gonna taste kind of weird. I'm not really a big fan of those wild fermented brews, like, I'm sorry to say to all my other beer nerd friends out there, but I like to know what my beer is gonna taste like when I put the yeast in. So I'm just gonna talk about some of my favorites, some of my go-tos. Maybe you could tell me I'm a basic bitch and I need to expand more. I'd really like to know what your favorites are for some certain styles, but I'm just gonna go like, these are the ones that I've been using. Been doing this a while. There's a lot of new stuff that's come out that I just haven't quite, really tried yet. So I'm always looking for inspiration. Please help me, okay? So, that number one, baby. USO 5, you're doing a pale ale, you're doing a blonde, you're doing a stout, you're doing an imperial, you're doing an IPA, like it's kind of, that one tool in the box. It's one of those, everybody has its strains, it's 1056 for Y yeast. I'm pretty sure this house ale from Escarpment is also USO 5. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. We're slowly getting into the Escarpment stuff. Also on the Escarpment thing, this is our Christmas card from Escarpment. Best fucking Christmas card I ever got. And if you don't get it, you need to brew more. Moving on, for my hazies, I'm just gotta stick with the classic, the old Y yeast 1318. I know there's so many other things out there. I'm obviously spoiled for choice. What's your favorite? What have you done? Have you tried the Imperials? Have you tried the Omegas? We carry some of that stuff here. Never really carried any much in the White Labs or Yeast Bay. Am I missing out? Should we be stocking more things? Let me know. But this is kind of the original for your hazies. Nice and estery, hazy. Give her tits. My only problem with liquid yeast is I'm usually too lazy to make starters, which is why I'd rather just pitch 2 packs of dry. Again, is that shitty? Do I suck? Tell me. Then we get into my lagers. You see me brewing Skulls Light all the time. I've been really enjoying lagers. I've been really enjoying the IPLs, India Pale lagers lately. Lighter, session IPLs, that kind of stuff. And I usually go for either the 3470 from Fermentis or the Nova Lager from Lallemand. Gotta love these. I don't even pre-soak them. I just pitch that. I've had no off flavors. Yeast doesn't seem stressed. I've fermented these as high as 23 with no discernible, at least to my palate, off flavors. Solid yeasts. If you like a lager, boom. If I'm looking for something region specific, maybe I'll do in a dry, the Bavarian Lager M76 from Mangrove Jacks, really like that. Or the Bohemian Lager. I also like the Y yeast 2007 or 2278 if I'm doing a little Checkstyle thing. I just find the Checkstyle and lagers can sort of bring out the hops a little bit more in a strange way. Like they have a little bit more bite on the bitterness, which I, as a guy who drinks a lot of IPAs, really like. But this one is the original one from the quick lager method from Brewlosophy. Gotta love Brewlosophy. My hat's off to them. They've taught me a lot of what I know about brewing. And they've done a lot of cool experiments. So you like this channel, you're gonna like that one too. For my wits or my white IPAs, I have my True North white IPA that I've made. Won a couple medals for that guy. And I really like this, and for basic wits too, your standard wit beer. Really like this one. It reacts really well to temperature, so I always say to people, if you want it to taste more Belgian, whatever that means to you, ferment it a bit hotter. Like when I first did the True North, we did it for a Flatlanders Beer Fest here in Winnipeg. That was 4 or 5 years ago. No, it couldn't have been that long, maybe 4 years ago. Our good friend Andrew Suckram over at Suckram Brewing allowed me to brew it in the back in his brewery, but he didn't have open fermenter space, so I literally brewed it in one of those big blue, it's like an oil drum, but it's made of plastic and blue plastic. And it was summertime. I think it fermented at 27 Celsius, which is crazy. And it was Belgian AF. So really nice and cheap, and works great. I think I pitched, we did I guess about half a barrel. No, it was a full barrel. And I think I pitched 7 packs. Moving on, my West Coasts. USO 5 would do a good West Coast. The Y yeast 1217, but it's PC. Why, we only drink West Coast once a year? Y yeast, what's with the PC? Why private collection? Just give us the West Coast all year. West Coast IPAs ain't going nowhere. This haze craze may end someday, but the West Coast will always be there. And when I do the dry M44, I haven't tried the Hophead M66 yet. I think I'm gonna give that a rip on the next one. I know Paul's brewed with it a couple times. Mangrove Jacks, solid yeast quality. Love it, love it, love it. I'd like to see a bit more in their commercial size pitches so we could use those at our friends at Torque and Oxus a little bit more. Our original Monday morning is M44, and we couldn't get we did 25 hectoliters. We couldn't get a brick, so I had to sit there and open 100 packs of this because the brewery refused to do it for me. They're like, you can come down and open 100 packs of yeast. And I did. That's how good this yeast is. And then for my sours, I'm not a big sour guy. I don't do the lacto. I don't do Bretsina as much. I'm looking to get into that. We got some really, really pro sour people who shop at the store, so I'm hoping I can get a guest person, or maybe I can go down to one of the local breweries and give that a rip, maybe with our friends down at Oxus or something. But for me, I like this Philly sour. I don't like the really, I like this is just a little bit tart. And I like how I can just make my same old recipe. For instance, our Walter Malone sour was just a regular Walter Malone watermelon wheat. You know what I changed about the recipe? I pitched this instead of US-05. Wow, big change, right? But it is a completely different beer now. Just nice and tart, goes really great with the watermelon. That sold really well for us in the summertime. We're gonna do it again. And I don't even know, I must have drank like 4 kegs of that just by myself. And I mean, so this is kind of all the styles I brew. Like, that's my main styles. I'd like to get more into the sours. I was recently helping to judge in our local event here in Winnipeg, and I tried something called a Katharina sour. Never even heard of it. It was just a fruit bomb. Me and the other guy, we just couldn't get over it. I mean, there was some other things with the beer that it could have been a little bit better, but like I got to brew me one of them. It was just tropical heaven. Didn't even know that style existed until that day. And here I am trying to be a beer judge, don't even know the fucking styles. That's why they have the book. It's always open book, right? Tell me, what are yours? You know I love hazies. You know I love lagers. You know I love stouts. That's kind of my main, I love my West Coast too. What's also a sour yeast that's gonna make me like sours more? Please tell me, I need to know. I don't have time to try, like we have 100 different strains already, and there's gotta be 200 more out there. I mean, I know there's the everybody strains. Every company makes about 15-ish strains that kind of just everybody has with a different name. But now there's all these new designer ones, like where they've taken out the ester producing thing, or they've taken out the clove producing thing. Like that was, I believe, that Sundew I tried. So there's all this cool yeast science, and there's these articles, you know, talking about how you can make an IPA without any hops, just with all these ester producing overpitch, underpitch. What, you know, is that the future of brewing? You know, weigh in. Let me know what you think. I can't imagine a world where I can't open a thing of hops and go like I always do. But if I can make the beer for half the price and it'll taste the same, it's worth a shot, isn't it? I'm gonna get f***ed up. You should too. We'll see you next Friday. Peace.